So he got a soundboard. This shit ran with phones, bro.
Man, I'm looking, I'm watching.
Like, so we got cameras, though. But the cameras are for class.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cameras for class. When I teach my class, I teach it against that. But the shit ran with 5 phones. And people go, how the fuck y'all switching cameras? You got the high, he got one on you. So he'll get in on you when you talking along. He got the bra, he got your name.
Man. They've been doing it for a minute, huh?
Nah, this is his third one.
Oh, for real?
Man, you're
That's just kind of touch yourself.
This is episode 6.
Well, I'm saying like this immediate, like.
Yeah, we knew this, bro. We learned this.
Okay.
Yeah, bro, we learned.
It's
I
like
know, because the one you did
like a
in
studio.
video, you were like, we almost didn't make it.
Hey, bro, yeah, we almost didn't make it. Hey, let me know when I'm on, bro. What's happening, good people? What's happening, man? Welcome to Entrepreneur to Entrepreneur, man. Today I have Stacy and Courtney on the show. We got a power duo coming on today. So, man, again, thank you for all you guys that support, man. Today we're gonna basically hit some new subjects as we have a realtor and an investor duo. That's something different that we haven't had on the show. And man, let's get to it, man. So how y'all doing?
Doing well.
Okay. This is my first time meeting you and Stacy.
Yep,
Okay.
first time. I've heard you and seen you.
Courtney, I met you through Don.
Yep.
Don Butler. Big shouts out to my guy Don. You know what I mean?
Don Lee.
All right, man. I want to welcome y'all, man. Let's have a shot, man. Let's have a drink.
Sure.
Cheers.
I'm far away. We can cheers.
I got you.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
It's our version of Drink Champs. You ever watch that podcast?
I don't think I have.
No.
She listens to a lot of podcasts.
Drink Champs is about hip hop, though. No, Reagan? I'll be having everybody in.
I think I did see that.
And it's a bunch of bottles.
Yeah.
And they're lit.
Yeah.
Like the whole time.
Yeah, I seen that.
no.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
By the end, it gets crazy.
It does.
Yeah.
Every time. All right. So, before we get any further, you're a realtor.
Yeah.
Let us know how you became a realtor and when you became a realtor.
So I got my license in 2018. Main reason was because we were flipping and to save the 3% commission.
Understood.
So instead of paying that money out of pocket, why not go spend the $800 to get my license and get my dues done, and then I have access to the MLS. So it was mainly for that reason. And with that, we just started flipping more hardcore. We found more deals. So it's been a great avenue for us.
Got you. That's dope. So it worked out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Now, are you a realtor solely for yourself or for others as well?
So I'm a real estate agent for others as well. I kind of pick and choose my clients. I do a lot on the investment side. I work with a lot of out-of-state investors.
Okay.
So yeah, I do work with other investors. It's more so, are you ready, willing, and able versus do you know what you want to do? So sometimes I help them point them in the direction of what kind of investing they want to do.
Got you. So if you're trying to invest, man, that's a key resource for you. All right. Now, you said you pick and choose. Tell us, how do you filter who you want to work with?
Just conversation and just some people you can tell, are they really ready to do this or do they want to just act like they're getting ready to do this and then never pull the trigger? Because as an agent, we don't get paid until we close a deal.
Right.
So if I show you 10 houses and spend an hour on each of those houses, I've wasted 10 hours and haven't made a dime. So it's one of those things that if you are ready, and you know, we might look at 10 houses and none of them work, but
Correct.
you're going to eventually buy them.
Yeah, you're more aggressive.
Yeah.
First and foremost, thank you for that. Secondly, Courtney, bro, if you don't hold your drink, man, get you a drink, man.
Oh, okay.
Don't be shy, bro.
Nah, here we go.
I just don't have the luxury of the table.
The more we get in, the more I'll be holding it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm just pacing myself right now.
I'm the drinker of the team.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Somebody gotta be responsible. Now,
Yes, sir.
with you, Courtney, how long have you been investing?
I've been investing probably since about 2011, 2012.
What got you into that?
Had a buddy of mine who introduced me to wholesaling, and I was driving trucks at the time, and he kept talking about this Dan Merle event that was coming to the city.
I took that event.
Yeah. So we went to the free course, the free side, and I fell off of it, and he stuck with it, and he kind of found his way, and it was a successful thing. So
he did well with it.
he ended up taking it's like a 3-part thing, I think, at the time. So it was the free course, and then he went to
he paid $200 for like a 3-day weekend.
3-day weekend. He went to the weekend, but then they was introducing the bus tour.
Correct.
You know, I think he needed like $30,000 for this.
100%.
So, you know, he didn't let that stop him. He started, putting the package together to try to crowdfund this $30,000 together.
Mm.
You know, he almost got there, but he didn't. He ended up finding Syria. He ended up finding organization called Syria.
Yeah.
And he ended up networking, and he just self-educated himself on wholesaling. And
awesome.
he ended up getting a check. He came to my house and it was like, you want in on it? I'm like, yeah, man, show me. You know, so I got introduced to it, and it took me a couple years to really get full throttle with it.
Gotcha.
But after that couple years, though, I quit my 9 to 5.
Got you. Earlier, when you first came, you said you had some struggles with wholesaling. Where did you have your struggles, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so my main struggle with wholesaling was going into and evaluate a deal properly. I just didn't know how to put my repair costs in the correct spot.
Got you.
You know.
So that's why I do the repair cost estimate class, virtually every Saturday, because it's the essential piece to any rehab or any deal. If you know how to assess the repair costs, you'll be able to evaluate if it's the deal or not. That's really where you make it or break.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. So make sure you go to entrepreneur.com and check this out on the wholesale acquisition course. So you quit your job, you're doing some wholesaling, and then what else happens?
So, I figured, I end up my networking just expanded. The people I was meeting was heavy players in the game, and I just started going to all these classes and self-educate myself, watching videos, YouTube, just anything I could get my hands on. I spent a lot of money on education.
I love it.
Some of the courses
we have
I've
a whole bookshelf, just piles of books that he's highlighted.
Hey Ziggy, we always got to picture Ziggy in the podcast, but it's your pile of education I've been handing, and that's really the game. Yeah. I feel like we just get so caught up with consuming YouTube. Yeah. I just tell people there's nothing wrong with YouTube. Yeah. I started my hair company and learning about hair and how to, how ladies do their hair watching YouTube. But at the end of the day, it's just information. Right. It does not teach me the process of running a business, a hair business. So I tell people that YouTube is informational, but a class can be instructional. Right. There's a difference in the type of information that you're receiving.
Yeah.
So kudos to you guys.
And it's shiny object syndrome. I mean, we have courses on lease options, wholesaling, flipping. I mean, we have a course for everything you would want to do.
Ooh. And Ziggy, I like this though. Ain't that what we be on?
Yeah.
That's why you guys are here though. I love it.
Yeah. So we've dabbled. We've done subject twos. We've done flips. We've done rentals. We've done wholesales. So it's more so when you tell that first person, find one thing and figure it out, because we've at first did all of it. We were like, we're gonna do everything. Yeah. And then eventually we're like, we're not doing anything. So it was
busy work.
It was busy work. It was a lot of busy work. So it doesn't matter what course you invest in or what person you invest in, just invest in what they're talking about.
Just do it.
And just do that one thing.
Yeah, I just posted a post saying my first podcast is gonna be ass. My first post is gonna be boo boo.
Yeah.
Just do it. Because when you do the 100th one, it's almost just like, okay. Like we told y'all on the first podcast, man, we almost didn't make it.
Yeah.
And we really got it going.
Right.
Like at 7:05, and it was like supposed to be live at 7 o'clock. Right. But since then, man, we've had so many mistakes and errors, sound glitches, Wi-Fi, to where now, like we've sharpened the pencil up a little bit, and we're dialing in just a little bit better. We still got a lot of room to grow.
Sure.
So no, kudos to you guys. So today, what are you guys focused in on?
Well, so today, you know, kind of to piggyback off of what we were just talking about, we end up figuring out how to hone in on what we were doing. So, you know, my thing was I was afraid to lose money in what I invested in, but I just said, you know what, I just need to pick what I'm gonna do, become great at it, get my system on autopilot, and then I can move to the next thing. And so to answer your question is flipping. We're mainly flipping. You know, for me, I know you hold a lot of properties, but for me, rentals was kind of a thing I just don't like, and mainly because I was self-managing all of the rental properties we had.
I now manage.
That would be.
So
I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
yeah, that became you know a headache to me. But you know, the today me is like, man, you need that. You know, you need that. So I honed in on the flipping, and that's what we're primarily doing. You know, we're pushing 10, 15 flips a year.
Awesome.
Is what our numbers is, and you know, now I'm kind of thinking about how can I diversify, my portfolio. So we do have about 6 rentals right now that we manage and we own, but I'm looking to kind of get that number up. And honestly, one of the things that inspired me to do so was listening to one of your podcasts, the one you and Antonio did.
Okay, tell me about that part.
I mean, it just kind of, it kind of made sense when you start looking at it from an aspect of, if I can have, 50 doors at an average of this number, then this is what my income is a month. I've replaced everything at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just sitting back. Not anything else, like flips or, anything else is just extra. Now I have that income just constantly coming in steady. A flip is just, extra credit now.
Boom.
So,
I love it. All right. So we talked about how we met pre-podcast.
Right.
So, we hang out with Don a couple times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don's the local promoter of the city. So, you know what I mean?
Ladies
Big shout out to Don, CEO Eclipse. You let me know that, hey, man, like I'm in the game, I'm wholesaling.
Right.
To be honest with you, everybody says that. So I kind of like wait.
Yeah.
I just kind of like check the temperature on things.
And I felt like that too, to be honest.
Oh!
I felt like that, to be honest. I used to always be like, I was trying to talk to him, but I respected it. I seen your grind, your journey.
Well, once you're at this level, we understand now.
No,
Because people
I'm not
message
at no
us.
level. I'm out here grinding too.
Yeah, and I respect that. It was just a thing, I just gotta keep getting in front of his face,
And sometimes it's persistence, and sometimes it's timing.
Right.
It's just real.
Yeah,
You know
yes,
what I
sir. And it worked out.
We haven't talked about a business deal, but I brought you on today.
Yeah.
So so I am paying attention.
Right.
It just timing just ain't been there.
Yeah. For sure.
I needed some contractors for a foundation, I think.
Yeah.
And he DM'd me, you know what I mean? And I used the guy. And we call him OG, man. OG don't be wanting to work. He come to work mad dirty and ain't done shit. And we be like, bro, what you doing? Like he just be looking at me like, man, why you on my head? You don't know me like that. Yeah. Ziggy be laughing. Then his workers be like, yeah, you ain't done shit. But no, seriously though, I had quotes for that basement, and the quote was 11 to 10,000. I mean 10 to 11,000. He did it for like 4.
Who's this, Harry?
Yeah.
Man, he the best.
Oh, Harry's the best,
He's the
yeah.
best. I'll tell you more about him later, but he's the best when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Prices, and he knows what he's doing. So.
Yeah, so then, he did some other shit, and he was just like, yo, my kids could demo this joint.
Yeah.
And so they came through, man, gave me a full package, and my demo budget was just like, I had demo and basement waterproofing and everything, and I want to say we did it like 13. He came in and did everything for 65.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Cleaning out, like next day too.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Ziggy
Yeah.
met him, he was just like, show me the property. He's like, we'll be here this weekend. I was just like, boom, deposit there.
Yes,
and
sir.
got done before you know it, I was jumping because I was like, bro, you don't be doing shit.
Well, you know what? He doesn't because he came and looked at one of our basements in flip-flops. And I was like...
Listen, to be honest though, he used to be a lot hands-on. He did have something happened where he did get a little sick or something.
Oh, okay.
So he just.
I be teasing him though.
He cool. No, he cool. He good dude, man. He fell back and he let his sons do it. You know, his sons.
And they good people
and
too.
it's
Though.
all family.
They
It's all family.
Yeah, no, we noticed that, and like we really like noticed that, like, oh, he dates the daughter, and he dates the other daughter, and
Yes.
these two are like.
I see you be getting all over them, dog. I be watching you. I said I would hate to be there, maybe on their head,
Man.
But he gets on me because I literally, in the summer, nothing but flip flops.
Yeah.
You will never catch me in tennis shoes.
That's the shit that he does.
Can't do that.
And I'm like, bruh.
Come on, Jake.
And I
You
swear,
don't get a nail that's gonna go
I
that
swear
tall.
our contractors are always like, are you sure you want to walk through here? I'm like, I'm good.
Nah,
I'm
so he
good.
be doing that and Crocs. I'll be like, bruh,
Right,
you
right.
don't quit doing that dumb shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to hit
But
one
nah,
day.
Harry, OG Harry, man, he's that
shout out.
dude though,
Shout
man.
out,
So
man.
then I took him to another property I have on Rural, and that one, folks were like 27 and 30. You know,
Oh my gosh.
I had a wall that's kind of.
That's a big project. I seen it. I've been watching them. That's a big project.
I ain't touched it yet.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's a big boy. But I'm gonna try to make that boy shake some.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And plus with the Corona prices, I might get something good out of it.
Oh yeah.
I swear Corona prices are real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we went over there, and that was the one. I don't know if you watched my Instagram, where Ziggy was kind of scared to go in the basement.
I don't think I seen that.
Hey man, he had my camera. I said, "Man, come on, film." He wasn't the camera. He didn't realize it was recording. He was like, "Oh, this can't be real. Oh, this can't be real." And then he was like, you can hear him, and he goes downstairs, and he was just like, "Oh my gosh, oh my god."
Hey,
It
what's
was
so
like-
bad, Ziggy? I don't like to go in by myself either,
We just bought one on
Yeah.
Bevel, and I swear we spent all day trying to get in this basement because it was the highest and best situation. We're like, we have to get in this basement before we go offer over asking. So he ends up kicking in the door, and
Don't do that.
don't do that. We ended up getting it, but
Congratulations.
he kicked in the door, and he was like, I can't go in there. I'm like, what do you mean we just spent all day?
Yeah.
He's like, no, there's water, there's cats running out.
It's just
He's like, I
too
can't
much.
go in there.
Hey, we've
I
had
said-
cats running out too.
Yeah.
I was like, don't be the me right now. Because I'm like, go first.
She always sends me first.
And he'll get all the way
Yeah.
down, and then he's like, come on.
That's hilarious. Turn your mic a little bit your way. No, all you gotta do is turn the bop. There you go. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Cool. Nah, that's funny, man. So that was 35. The demo on that, man, that was gonna hit me for a good 8.
Right.
That's a whole boy, and this is filthy.
Yeah.
Man, why that man quote me like a third of everything?
Yeah.
Like Harry's that dude.
Yeah.
And he was just like, man, I just want to keep my kids working.
Right.
He gave me a day. I said, man, it don't even matter. Like just whenever you ready, I'm working with you.
Right.
You know, permits are on their way, but you're
Yes,
good.
sir.
You know, so like, no, I appreciate that.
No doubt.
And I just to circle back what we were talking about, you know, just timing.
Yeah.
You know, and just that just comes like that. So I was watching. So how did this relationship develop? Was it a partnership or a relationship first?
Oh, no, it was definitely a relationship.
Relationship, yeah. It was a relationship, and you know, I just kind of brought her on to the real estate part of it.
Gotcha.
You
So
know?
she saw your vision.
Well, she didn't really see the
No.
vision on it.
I didn't.
She really didn't see the vision. She doubted it, but yeah. Fill me up. But you know, so it was just a thing where
I was going to school.
Yeah, she was
Nurse.
going to school.
Okay.
You know, circumstances happen.
Did you finish?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I was working at the hospital at Community North,
Okay.
and he was just like, I think I just complained a lot about work, and he was just like, well, why don't you just come here and you can do my marketing? And so I started doing his marketing, and it just kind of, you can take it from there.
Yeah, and it didn't. I can tell you what. Thank you, because it didn't pay off at first, you know. And I wasn't sure even how to pay her. You know, I wasn't even sure what I was doing. And again, at this point, we were just wholesaling. So I'm still trying to figure this wholesaling thing out
And we both quit our jobs.
with consistency.
So,
Oh, so you guys quit then worked.
So
Yeah.
if he was working while, like he would be, so he drove semis, he literally had a Bluetooth, he was making calls, driving.
Oh man.
And-
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
And finally, I think we closed enough deals that we had enough money put up that we could pay this amount of bills. Plus I was still working, and so we could survive, and then he was like, well, just quit. And then we were like, oh, okay. time to go. So,
So you had a certain type of confidence in her at that point, though.
Yeah, I did for sure.
Awesome.
I did for
I
sure.
think he just loved me. And
And it was just like, it's my partner. You know what I mean? It's my partner. Why don't you come on? I had a partner at the time. So I asked my partner, I was like, man, would you be okay with, bringing my girl on and we pay her something ridiculously low, to just come on and she could do this for us. And
I no longer work for low.
Yeah, we'll figure out how to pay her later. And then what happened is his wife was a realtor. And his wife is bright. She was a bright lady, and I still love her to this day. It was a thing where she was a little bit difficult to work with, in my opinion. I probably shouldn't be saying that, but anyway, just keep it real. And the thing
sometimes
yeah,
you just don't align.
Like I said,
that person's bad.
At the end of the day, I
bro.
love her. I still talk to her, to this day. But I was just like, Stacy, why don't you become a realtor? And in fact, I introduced Stacy to Syria. Syria, we owe a lot to Syria.
We owe our lives to
Syria, the organization Syria, if you're not familiar with it.
Central Indiana Real Estate Investors Association.
But, it was a thing where, I introduced her to that and, just...
Relationships.
Important.
So go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So Vicky Perry is the executive director, and she was needing volunteers.
Yep.
And so he was like, "Why don't you go ahead and be the face for me?" He's like, "Why don't you get it? Because I'm really good at talking. I will talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And he's the one that's just kind of like, hey,
It's all right.
So he's like,
playing this role.
yeah. So he's like, why don't you go be the face and volunteer with Vicky? You're working for me, but we've got spare time. Go ahead. So I volunteered with Vicky, and from there, I started hosting meetings at Syria. I now have had 2 subgroups. I'm a vendor. We've gotten.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
That's
a big thing.
Shout out.
We celebrate that.
Yes, sir. Shot.
We've gotten deals, lenders, flips. Anything you could have ever wanted. We've vetted people through Syria. A contractor call you, get a bid, just call a few people, say their name and see what they say.
It's a small community, so I'm glad you say that because I know a lot of people burning bridges.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And we're like the low key frat.
Yeah.
We may not work together, but like he sent me somebody, I sent him somebody. If you watch my podcast, I'm dropping names and giving people out.
Yeah.
And so it definitely is a small community in Indianapolis.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's one of those things of, like we said, we've spent tons of money on courses. If we would have just went to Syria and invested our time there and just asked the questions that we needed to know, we could have probably saved thousands of dollars. Half of the questions that were in these books are answered in the monthly meetings or just by networking. So, there's tons of people that I know you've done Fortune Builders. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are like, I went to Fortune Builders and I've learned more here than I did there. But it all just depends on how you receive information.
Correct.
Receive and take action.
Yes.
Taking action, like you said earlier, is the thing. You can read, but until you take the action and make the mistakes, that's the real education.
That's the cost of education.
That's the real education. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, that's you got to take action. You got to.
Got you. So today, what part of the business do you handle? As you're a realtor, but like, what all do you handle?
So I mainly handle like design. I lay everything out. I still hand draw our permits.
What? You hand draw?
Yeah.
On graph paper.
I'm paying these fools.
On graph paper.
And you basically put the measurements and everything?
Yes. Yeah. So I take my ruler and I draw out our floor plans and I sketch out our lumber and I submit our plans.
Hey, that's,
one of our friends
that's impressive.
One of our friends was like, why don't you just use Master Plan? Right, but I don't know. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah,
it's just what makes sense.
Hey, bro, you always talk about me being old school, bro. That's old school.
That's old school.
I
you always talk about me being old school. That's
old
school.
Yeah. So I do the design, and mainly I do those because I do the design. So sometimes I have to draw it out to see if this is gonna make sense. I'm like, this looks like it'll make sense, but then you go and your door's hitting the toilet and you're like, oh.
Well, we moving up. It's a process. So
Ain't nothing
you know,
wrong with that.
on our next one, we might hire.
If anybody wants to come do our drawings.
Yeah.
I got a good guy, man.
Okay.
Matt Bridgewater, man. Great guy, affordable. He's learning some things too, though, but he has a mentor.
Okay.
So in essence, his mentor is actually okaying the plan.
Yeah.
But Matt's been very well. Now, what I want to have you do is and do this with the mic so it comes up to you. Like, there you go. Boom, you got it.
I'm having mic problems.
Are you no, you're good.
I
you're
might
good.
be moving.
So that's our
now.
new boom stand. So I don't think I have it tight enough. So it moved a little bit on.
Oh,
It's all good. It's all good. Now check it out. Like, what are your challenges as partners?
Let me,
Well, let me start this off. I mean, it's just, you know, we have to, it's challenging because, you know, we have to manage our relationship on a business relationship and a personal relationship. And sometimes the two can clash. For sure.
I was going to ask that.
Sometimes the two can clash. But I would say this, you know, as much as we might clash, I would be the first to say that, you know, I'm not really 100% sure if I could run it without her. You know, because there are big things, like, again, the design part of it. You know, she does the design. You know, I manage the construction side of it. You know, I handle the expense reports, and, you know, she does product selection, design. So when I take myself out of it and just look onto our whole equation, I'm thinking like, man, if I had to do all of this, I would be going crazy.
Not just told y'all.
Yes, sir.
Ziggy will tell you, I go to houses first thing in the morning. I'm up at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Going to lift weights and do whatever, just to exercise to release the stress.
Right.
You know, then I'm a single dad of 4. I got 2 dogs, 2 girls, but one is an IU now. So then, you know, all my errands, you know what I mean? And then the acquisition part.
Yeah.
You know, I have leads. So I have to get to them.
That's busy.
You know, then there's something wrong. Or there's, you know, you
Yeah.
gotta fix this, or hey, I need to meet this guy. He's done with his work, he wants his money.
Yeah.
And then then I started E.
Right.
So building a curriculum, doing a podcast, preparing for a podcast, like just the social posting. Like that's new, you know, and so like that just so one person and I lost my 2 people like right in the beginning. So like I definitely understand that completely. Outside of that though, what are your challenges?
He's just naturally I believe in signs.
Say it. Go ahead and say it.
So he's a Libra, I'm a Capricorn, we're both very strong headed.
Okay.
So we're both naturally dominant people, and he's naturally just boss minded. So we can both very much clash. So we're both like, oh, we have the right answer. And so that's probably our hardest.
Well, I think the thing is, I never turn work off. You know,
no, he never turns work off.
I never turn work off.
Truth.
I'm always thinking of how to get better.
It was 12 o'clock last night, and he was asking me about the cabinet layout.
Yeah, I'm always thinking work. I mean, but honestly, like, the thing I say about that is when you find something that you love to do, like, I love doing this, like, love it. And, you know, you hear people saying that, but is it really real? Is it authentic? Like, I love doing what I do, so for me, it's not work. For me, it's just regular conversation. You know, for me, it's just regular conversation. And I'm not always, you know, I'm not always aware that to some people it's work. So, you know, that's something I just think is regular.
Area that you could work on, huh?
That's an area I can work on for sure.
We
But
have
it, you know,
areas
I gotta, you know, I gotta get that bag right first. So, you know, until I do that, you know, it's no days off.
Yeah.
You know,
he feels the pressure that he has to be he has a pinnacle he wants to reach.
Yeah.
What's that pinnacle, bro?
Freedom.
I
What
don't.
is freedom? That's different from me.
I don't know because.
Tell me what your freedom is, and I'll tell you what I think your freedom is.
For my thing is.
Uh-oh, she's interviewing you. She has a question.
She is. She's putting us. Well, for me, you know, lately I've been noticing that, like, cause like, you know, you hear people say, once you get $1 million, you want $2 million.
I've been told that by X.
That's true. Because I remember when I wanted 100,000, and then when I seen it, it was
Nothing.
like, that's nothing.
This Denver is still broke.
That's it. Exactly. So it's like I need to get here. So I'm still working on that. I'm still working on where my happiness lies within, the business. And I think the real answer to that is once I learn how to put it on autopilot. Once I'm down in Florida vacationing and my business is still running without me answering my phone, that's when I'll be happy.
So,
Yeah.
if I may, he said that's when I'll be in Florida and my business still be going. Is that a control thing that you can let go of that and empower somebody to do?
I don't think he can ever let go.
It's hard.
Why is it
He
hard?
naturally has to work. Like
it's and not to cut you off, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but it's hard because I've yet to learn how to trust people. I don't, my in-house guy that we got, one in-house guy that works for us full time, and he pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie, but
Marco,
Hey,
you're
Don be pissing us off.
he pisses me off. But for some reason, I trust him more than I trust a lot of people.
And it's because he's pissing you off, but the truth might be that he got your best interest, and that's why you guys clash.
Yeah.
So you just have a different perspective at the project.
Yeah.
But the truth is, he's really putting his input into it, and it's just different than yours.
Yeah.
Well, and you have to understand that there's a difference. You have to understand.
Can I have her cup, please?
Yeah, I just looked at that.
Thank you, sir.
I was gonna swap it out.
We have to understand that not everybody has our mindset. So
Big,
Big.
huge,
That means you gotta become a better teacher.
huge. Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
You gotta be, and not even a teacher, just
Leader.
Yeah.
Leader. I like the word leader
Yeah.
because it's a difference. It's and I was.
I don't use the word boss.
Yeah, that's over. That's over with.
But because you realize that 100,000 ain't really no
Yeah.
bullshit.
And
but the issue is, it's not even an issue, is your contractor, if it's just a guy who's coming to do the work versus like an actual contracting company, if you just have a guy coming in to do the work, for them, they're seeing a paycheck. For them, they don't understand the difference as if they take the long way around and the short way, and they waste this amount of material. So they're not looking at it at the end perspective. So for them, they're still getting the same amount of money, but for us, our profit's dwindling down, and they don't see where our frustration is. So they're like, well, why is he getting so frustrated? I'm still getting it done, but you're not getting it done the right way.
Efficient way.
The efficient way.
So what I tell Ziggy, we run through the hood. We run through the hoods that they're gentrifying.
Right.
And I just be like, he sees me do it, regardless of what vehicle we're in. Just like we pull up and we go in there 90% of the time in Hispanic. I speak Spanish, so I'm able to penetrate that. I tell Ziggy, I can see the craft. Somebody's kind of like, oh man, I would love to check out your work, and they're kind of like, I got something else, or they're not allowing you to see the craft.
Right.
Beware. But I say that to say that then you got the guy like this. Come on in.
Yeah.
He takes pride in his work.
Yes.
Right.
And so I think that's what I was kind of hearing there, that sometimes they're just there for the money. They're not there for, the longevity of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to fix your mic.
Yep. I keep seeing it kind of.
Yeah. This is like I said, this is a new mic. Sorry about that.
It's
No,
the first.
it's all
It's
good.
the first duo. So.
Oh, you good?
There's a
Yeah.
first for everything, all right?
Yeah.
But-
Well, so technically this is like my home mic for my home podcast,
Okay.
but this is the first 3 mic setup that we
Yeah.
got, you know what I mean?
Hey, shout out.
We're the first.
Yeah.
No
We're the first in
doubt, no
something.
doubt. Cheers again, man.
Cheers.
again.
Yeah.
Hey, we going through that bottle, I love it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It's
sir.
a weekly thing. Alright, now.
On a Tuesday. What's that song? On a
Hey,
Tuesday.
that's gonna be our new intro, bro. Going up.
And it's
On a
great.
Tuesday.
And
Wow.
it's great too.
Wow.
Our son
Yeah.
used to sing that.
Hey, that's it.
He was like 2 years old. He'd go Tuesday.
Hey, that's it right there,
That's
though.
it. That's
That's
it.
our new thing. We going up on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm trademarking
Thank
that.
you.
Yes, sir.
No, thank you. All
Shout out
right.
to Stacy.
Yeah, no doubt. What's the biggest misconception that people have about working with your special someone?
Wow.
I don't know that it's just rosy.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, it's not rosy. We have a lot of fun and we have a lot of freedom. I mean,
That's beautiful.
we don't wake up. It's not like waking up and we gotta get ready and get out the house. It's, you know, we wake up, we can cook breakfast, we can do what we need to do, answer phone calls. We're not bound to anything, so we have freedom, which is fun. So we can catch an afternoon movie, or we can stop at the mall, or, you know, the small things that some people don't get to do. But there's some days that it's like 9 o'clock and we're like, man, what are we having for dinner?
Yeah.
So, you
yeah.
know.
So it's just you know, it's a thing where I know you asked what's the biggest misconception. What people need to realize is this can spill over into a personal area, and you know we're still learning. We're still learning how to you know, divide the two, and I don't really know if it's a real answer to dividing the two, but what we have done is we've dug in and looked at you know, our journey, and then we've looked at the good in it.
Reflection. I love it.
Yeah,
we've reflected and like, damn man, it's like you remember when we was just in this office and we were just trying to find something to do.
We were stamping mailers.
Yeah, we were trying to find something to do, and now it's like it's not enough time in the day to do everything we need to do.
I love it.
You know,
That's good.
just know that, you know, it's it can spill over.
Plus, you have to really like your partner. I mean, a lot of couples, because obviously our relationship is business and personal. A lot of couples, they go to work, they spend 8 hours away together, they come home, they're together for 4 hours, and they go to bed. That's it.
Yeah.
We are together 24/7. I mean,
well,
when he goes out on a Friday or Saturday night, I'm like, where are you going?
Yeah.
I want to go.
That's a different
I
story.
want to go.
That's a different story. But
not in a negative way, but I'm
what's
like,
big is, you know, and we've had like my mentor, his name is I'm not sure if you know Dave Short.
I know who he is.
Yeah, okay. So he's my mentor, man. Big shout out to Dave. But you know, one of the key things that he wanted us to do was, you know, in order for us to be efficient and effective, you know, Stacy, you need to be here doing this. Courtney, you need to be here. In the very beginning, we were doing a lot of things going together. Because again, you know, I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm 250 plus 260. I don't want to go into a basement by myself when it's dark. You know, I don't want to go in there and say, hey, who can I call? I mean, I can't call one of my friends. I can't call Don and say, Don, can you just come over here and walk to this basement with me? So who else better to, you know, she's there. Let's go look at this house together. So what we had to do, and you know, what we're doing is we're learning how to be effective in terms of, here, I give you the creative control to do the design, do whatever you need to do in here, and I trust that you can do that, and I'll run this side, and you need to trust that I can do this.
Correct.
So we've been working on that, and you know, it's working. It's working.
That's what's up, Stacy. So if you don't mind, man, with all respect, I'm calling you next time I go to the basement because I go in that motherfucker by myself. Like Ziggy don't be coming,
man.
So
man, well, you know.
And in this house on rural, I got raccoons.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's my biggest fear.
Well,
that's my biggest fear. It's a raccoon popping out.
It's a family,
you know.
And the neighbor told me, he's like, and check this out. I've been in there and I filmed commercials for this.
In there.
And we've been in there for like 2 hours. We got our own generators and do this type of shit in there.
And you're just like hunching because there's
no,
cobwebs.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was chilling.
Yeah.
Then I've been to the basement. I went to the basement with Harry, chilling. Yeah. And then I told Harry, it's raccoons in here. He's like, I'm cool. Ziggy's like, oh my God. Now, the neighbor tells us there's raccoons in there. And like Ziggy's Ziggy's not even stepping in that thing at all now. So I was just like, so no lie. We got to go back in there and film now because I'm actually going to be teaching my class virtually now.
Yeah.
So instead of doing my repair cost estimate live because it's cold, well, out of my house and don't have heat, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, so like we're now doing like those digital virtual tours so that like people can actually like just follow me.
Yeah.
And they can see what I see, and then we'll do it virtually.
That's
and,
nice.
And that's how I'm gonna do my class nationwide.
Yeah, I like
You know
that.
what I mean? So,
Yeah.
got you. All right. So, now you got a new build. You was telling me you were struggling with that a little bit in the beginning. Let's talk about that. Tell me.
You know,
I
our,
want to do another one.
Yeah. Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so you know, the notion is, you know, everybody says once you do it, you'll want to do it all the time. And I understand why. You know, when you do it's clean. Everything's straight. Everything's true and plumb. You don't have to recreate anything. You don't have to redesign. Our biggest challenge with it so far is we had two things. Our biggest challenge was dealing with the permit office.
What was the biggest challenge there? Was it something not right with the permits? Was it some things missing
Well,
in the design? Oh, you're the
time.
designer.
She's the designer.
So you actually have to draw
Well, we
bricks in the ground?
we bought these plans.
So we bought these plans online.
Online.
So we went to an online provider like homepatterns.com. I'm not endorsing them, don't do it.
Got you. Hey, warning.
Morning. Yeah.
So basically it's just like there's a bunch of architects and plans that they've done before, they upload them here and you can buy them for like $1,000 versus going to a local architect telling them kind of what you want and them charging you like $3,000 or $4,000 because that's what it costs for prints.
Yeah, correct.
But with that, the things, they're more vague plans that we bought. So now our contractor's asking us questions and we're like,
You don't know.
We don't
I don't
know.
know. What
That's
do you
why
mean?
that's
What
why
do
we
you
hired
mean,
you
though?
though.
Yeah.
That's why we hired you.
Yeah. We're like, that's exactly what he says. Like, I'm
Yeah.
a soft, like when a contractor calls me, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know. And he'll be like, well, that's what I hired you for. So if you can't figure it out, then you can go ahead and leave.
Yeah, we need
so-
the next man up.
And I'm just like, okay.
So something that I do here,
Yeah.
like when I hire, not the intern, when I hire a person, though, they don't know this, but depending on their resume, I hire them because they have a trait that I want to learn that I don't know.
Right,
So I'm basically
Okay.
paying them to mentor me.
Right.
right.
Sweet. Yeah.
My contractor done, like, you know, got Jefferson. It was some new shit in there, and I was like, come check this out. He came through. Z laughs because he be hating on all the contractors. And
Yeah.
he walked through the house. I get there, he got a goddamn list. He's like, hey man, look at that shit. That stud's supposed to be supported by that stud. This stud, that stud. Like, hey bro.
Tell him you're
Then he's like, let's go outside. I'm not done. Go outside. He was just like, man, look at this shit. Like, they gotta fix that. Boom. Go to the basement. Man, there's some deep shit deep in the basement. Like, far.
Yeah.
And the motherfucker was like, you see that? It's missing a part. Hey, so swear to God, I called my dude though. OG come through. Not OG, that OG. My other dude, my OG, my Mexican OG come through. He like, got it.
Yeah.
So like, you're right.
Yeah.
You're paying him to know his craft.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm with you
Yeah.
when you're right. And Don just ain't good with people.
Right.
Right.
So that's the sucky part. But you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. Here recently, I forced him to. I had some people dig up a project across the street. I got some doubles, and then he got to talk crazy. So I hired some guys to finish the shit.
Yeah.
You want to change your situation.
Right.
Right.
Long story short, he was hating on him. He was like, they ain't doing shit right over there, bro. They fucking up your money, and that's supposed to be my money too. And
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But so he had my back though, kind of like your guy.
Right.
And he was just like, look, I'm gonna go over there and teach him.
Right.
So I was just like, bro, you need to learn to talk to people, bro. You can't just be like,
Yeah, for sure.
you can't do that, man. Especially culturally wise.
Yeah.
Hispanics tend to not like the way we give direction. You know?
Right,
I mean,
right.
it's nothing personal.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's done a good job. He's trying. He reports every morning.
That's
He says,
how it matters.
he'd be like, hey, I'm going to say this to them today. You know,
Yeah.
Ziggy was like, man, how's Don doing over there? Like, man, he can be reported morning, reported night. So he's really trying to show me that he can do it. And I appreciate that. So, you know, but long story short, he should know, Don knows. Now, I will say this, despite his personality flaw, he teaches me. He teaches us at this
Right.
point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And
We've
it,
learned a lot.
Well,
from
so,
just
like-
the construction part.
depending on not at Don, but like if I hire a contractor and he comes through and he's pointing out everything that the last contractor done wrong, I say, hey, listen, that's why I hired you. I don't want to hear about what the last contractor did. I don't want to hear it. Can you fix it or no? If you can't fix it, then we need to move on. But I don't want to keep hearing about what he done because that's exactly why I called you. Yeah. So just just the permit process has been challenging for us. And what we did, we thought we were being smart. We hired what's called a permit expediter.
What is that?
So
It's nothing.
I thought that a permit expediter was a person who would speed the process up.
Definitely.
Well, I found out that that's not the case.
What is it?
So it's a service. It's a service that people provide.
But it's really not.
Yeah, it's a service that people provide to submit your plans on your behalf.
Oh, so I'm familiar with that then. I
Yeah.
didn't know that's what it was called.
But when
so I'm gonna be honest with you, I use one.
Okay.
And so I use Rivera Group. I put it out there.
Okay.
I use Rivera Group from all my plans. So instead of paying the $200 for the fucking structural plans, maybe $300, I might be paying like $600-700.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I've learned a lot through them,
Yeah.
and I've made a relationship with the staff.
Yeah. We
To where like, you know what I mean, Katie, you remember I took you there? Katie and Mary, they kind of like break everything down. And it's like, even as I'm filling out stuff, I'll be like, what is this for?
Right.
Yeah.
And so like, those are things that if I was a GC, because you have to be a general contractor in order to really like be able to submit permits, like I wouldn't know where to start.
Yeah, and I mean, we hired the permit expediter for the simple fact that we've never done a new build. So, we know we need plans, but what do the plans need to get? Because the idea is the permit office already takes 30 days to review.
Yes.
And then if there's something wrong, they need another 30 days.
So let's touch on that before you get too far.
Okay.
So 2 things with the permit office. One thing is they already was going to change their system to not allow the homeowner or the investor to come in and submit. They moved everything online.
And for the GC to do it.
Yeah, well, so you as an owner you can still do it. But the other side of it was when the pandemic hit, it slowed things down even more.
It did.
It slowed it down even more. So we said, you know what? We got the solution to that. Let's hire a permit expediter. One of our investor friends said, don't hire this certain company. What we do? Hire this certain company. And I'll let you take over from there.
Yeah, and so the idea is that we give them everything we have, and they kind of do a preliminary review and say, okay, well, this is what you need, right? No, they take what we sent and they're like, okay, perfect, we're gonna submit it, and then here it comes 30 days later. Oh, well, we need this, this, and this.
30 days.
30 days.
So just
So
say
then
we
another
didn't submit the
30
right
days.
thing, yeah.
And it was like something so small, like a stairway, like the handrail. I mean, it's partially the permit office doesn't have great direction.
Yeah.
Have you ever sent them an email?
So
You will say, do you want me to give you the length and width of a window? And they'll say, no, I just need the lateral by, like, they'll say something so stupid. And you're like, the fuck?
yeah. So I got somebody in there. So I got like a little.
Okay.
I went to high school with her though.
Yes, sir.
So I seen her in there. I didn't even acknowledge her in there other than her Facebook inbox like, hey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Help me out.
And then she got promoted, so she reviews now.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that she gets my property. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
but if
But
I have a question, I could definitely just
For sure.
You know what I mean? So let that work. Now, so you got the permits. You got the go ahead to go lay your foundation. Talk about the other challenges.
Lumber. We had 95 different lumber quotes, and every single one was different with different material. You're like, how does this happen?
That's the pandemic, though. It wasn't like that pre-pandemic.
Well, no, it was, some people were making our first floor, first floor
Well,
2x10s, and ones were using I-joist, and
it goes back to the
plans are just
this
different.
goes back to the plans. Instead, so we try to save $1,000 to $2,000 dealing with the online company. Opposed to you, I have a guy here that does all these plans, but he said, "Hey, I can't." He said, "Courtney, if they're giving it to you for this price, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, I can't do
I
that.
can't match that."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Man, I'm on to something big." So I went ahead and did it, but we were naive to reading the actual plans. Example. typically houses in Indiana are built with 2x4s. Ours had 2x6s. What does this do? Drive the lumber costs up.
And it's already
Especially in the
in our
pandemic. So we didn't really know how to read the plans correctly, and there were special things on this house like odd joists, floor joists. It was a beam going across the house. That house was like a special house, to be honest. And so whoever the end buyer is for that house, man, you're gonna have a great house.
It's beautiful.
But it cost us, and we were going into the situation naive and green to what we were doing. So,
But we've learned so much.
we learned so much.
That's the cost of education. Those L's.
We'll still make some money though.
There it is. All right. So, what was your budget going into it?
So we were gonna be all in at 193.
Yep.
So 40,000 for the lot. So we bought 4117 Graceland, and it had a double lot. So we separated the parcels, which they were already separated. We just had to give it an address.
Yeah.
So we paid 125 for the house and the lot, and then we just said, okay, well, the house was 85 and the lot was 40. So 40 for the lot, 153 for rehab. So 193 all in. Our goal is to sell it for I think we were saying like 275.
275,
275
is what the council was
to be
saying.
safe.
Hey, that's all right though. See what they talking about?
But
Yeah. we use the mail formula.
But
we
I'm
want
going
all
to
that
list it
70%
for
all
like
the time.
309.
Yeah.
So maybe more, depending on how the pandemic goes.
Gotcha.
And depending on what we do with this laundry room, because it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Hey, pandemic prices is stupid.
It is.
If these interest rates it's just interest rates. I mean, if your buying power goes up, the lower interest rates are.
So I said that the other day. It's no longer the price of the property. It's your interest rate that you're buying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. You're not worried about it being 150 versus 200.
Right.
You're worried about 2% versus 3.1.
Yeah.
So
Big.
like, nah, I get it. Man, so she says you're gonna do another one. How do you feel about that?
Oh, he's been looking at lots of
I'm with it. I'm
No, but he told me, he did say, I'm never doing it. He said, no,
Frustration.
his words were,
Frustration.
I'm never doing one of these motherfuckers
Frustration.
again.
Yeah, tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Frustration,
Tell the
man.
truth.
I'm human. I'm human. I get frustrated, and sometimes I lash out. But
Yeah, be like that.
yeah,
Be
but
like that.
I would most definitely. I actually missed the opportunity a couple weeks ago that this game is you got to move fast, and if you don't move fast, they will take it right from under you.
I ignored it.
What I'm saying,
We rely on each other to make decisions.
what I tell you, Ziggy, like, shit, if it's a deal, that mug is gone in an hour.
It's gone.
In an hour. Sight on scene.
Yeah.
I got a purchase agreement on one of the wholesales I just put out.
Okay.
Sight on scene, California investor, like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I put it on Facebook just to really like, I'm just showing people what I do.
Yeah.
In the proper way to do it.
Yeah.
But I actually like shut it out to the real people.
Yeah.
And it was like that. Z was like, man, that was fast.
Yeah.
And it just, but it's because you did it. I did it right.
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect. There's no quote unquote right way.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's best practices.
Well, and so when we go in to look at deal, we both are very dependent on each other on purchasing property.
I love it.
Like, he wants my approval, I want his approval.
For sure.
So when I'm into a house, I'm like, have you looked at it yet? Have you looked at it yet? I'm sending him a link. I'm like, have you looked at it yet? I'm like, I'm getting ready to put an offer in. Are you going to look at it? And for him, he's like, man, we need to evaluate this deal. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so, like, I'll ignore it.
I struggle with analysis paralysis.
He has
I do.
I'll
I gotta analyze it to the fullest before I'm like, let's do it. I have to analyze it because, and this goes back into another business venture I had. I signed a contract for a credit card machine, and I didn't read into what the terms were.
Yeah.
I paid for that credit card machine for years after that. So I'm a person that I want to analyze it to the fullest.
And I don't. I'm
but
just like, let's go.
I've learned how to move faster, and that comes with experience.
Yep.
Comes with experience, yeah.
Confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence.
Well, so our best, not our best deal, but do you know who Cortez Walker is?
I know who he is. I'm
Okay.
one person.
Okay, so we bought a wholesale from him, 264 Clayton. So this house was gutted to the studs. It's a 1998 built house, but it had all the electrical and plumbing. and I think he had it for like $79. And I'm like, we're going to see this right now.
Yeah.
We both called each other at the same time about the same house.
Okay.
And he's like, so what are you thinking? What are you thinking? And so like, I'm like, I don't know what you're thinking, but I already sent the offer.
Yes. I already spent your money, bro.
Yeah. So we got a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's what's up, though.
Yeah.
So we were
Now, do
yeah.
you both send offers, or are you delegated, or are you delegated to?
Just matter who was
It all just depends
Who's
on who the
available?
contact.
Yeah.
Like if
Like
I
who-
get the deal and
Yeah.
I've been talking to the person, then I'll do it. If he got the deal, because we both have.
You know, she might have a better relationship with somebody, and I might have a better relationship
Ain't nothing wrong
with
with
somebody. So we just
Just make it happen.
just make it happen. Yeah.
Got you. All right. So we winding down. But I got a few more questions.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna start with you though.
Okay.
I like you. All right. What is the ultimate goal for you with what you got going on?
Ultimate goal. You know what? I should have knew this question was coming. Ultimate goal is to retire before I'm wrinkled.
Got you. What's wrinkle for me? It's 45. Man. He already called me old every day.
Yeah.
He like he be disrespectful about it.
Man.
He'd be like, what did he call me the other day, man? That Jeezy's versus Gucci was on.
Oh man, we had a blast with that.
And then I had a class, so I was like sitting there listening while the Zoom meeting going on. And I'm like, this is so ratchet. I'm on this thing listening to Gucci versus Jeezy. And I'm
We
on the
put it
class.
on the TV.
But it's okay. So let me tell you what he said. What did you call me? You a young old man. I was like, what the fuck is that shit? He was just like, like Gucci, but he dressed you on.
Yeah.
Disrespectful, man. Disrespectful. So, like I said, 45 to me, I'm 38. I'll be 39 in about 2 months though, but I'm 38. My goal would be to retire at 45. What's yours?
That's about the same. So mine would be like to retire. My biggest thing is just happiness, like goal of happiness, having passive income, being able. You know what I picture? I picture a huge Christmas, because it's Christmas time. Huge Christmas, providing presents for everybody, just carefree. Everybody's here having fun, and just living life. Just really living life stress-free.
What's living life to you?
Living life to me is traveling when I want, not necessarily like
On a
to
schedule.
Paris or anything, or just having fun,
Gotcha.
having fun and making money, teaching people. I don't necessarily want to do quite what you're doing, but I feel like that could be something that could happen. But I don't know.
Courtney?
I've never really thought that far.
You know, just I don't know, man. I'm still working on that. You know, I'm still working on that. But at the end of the day, like I said, I had to reflect, and I'm like, man, look where I'm at from where I came from. You know, so it's like, you know, I made it, and you know, yes, I'm still working on things, but I haven't thought about a retirement. I mean, I think I could do this forever. I don't know if I want to retire per se, because I love being active in what I do.
You love the gym, bro.
I love it, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to retire,
I love it. So,
but I wouldn't want to have to do it.
but you know, just if I can just you know, I'm just trying to build wealth. I'm just trying to build wealth, and then next is generational wealth. I want my son to be able to choose what he wants to do without, you know, having the stress. You know, so I want my son to be able to, you know, he don't have to necessarily do real estate. He don't necessarily have to play basketball, but I want him to live a good life and, you know, just not have to worry like I did. You know, when I was growing up, I worried about, you know, I worried about income. You know, I worried about my parents' income, things like that. I didn't come from a poor family, but you know, I knew it wasn't stable. You know, so I want stability. I guess that's the biggest thing.
Got you. So one thing I heard you say earlier, in regards to just kind of like your growth and your aspirations in real estate, you know, a lot of it was financial. You know what I'm saying? And you link that to happiness. And the reason I say link that because you was just like, man, you know, like just kind of want to be wealthy and happy.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the way you answered it. And I apologize if I misarticulate that. But you know, I think that although we come from different places and different surroundings, we could definitely respect our hustle and our path. That being stated, I ran into some obstacles because I looked at a monetary goal as my joy,
Right.
whether it be wealthy or whether it be 100,000, like we said. Like,
Right.
man, I want 100,000. But then when I had a lady, I told her I want to make $1 million. She was like, "When you make $1 million, you're gonna want to make 2."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my fiance at the time, but I'm no longer involved in that. So when I look at it today, she was right. The truth though was, I made that money and I got sick.
Right.
And when I got sick, money couldn't do nothing for me.
Right.
No diamond earrings, no S-class, no nice house, no stealth bank account. You know, that didn't do it for me. So then I had to reconfigure my why.
Right.
And my why came, and it was surrounded by things like, I love to travel.
Yeah.
I love the time I spend with my kids because I don't get a lot. It's 50-50, but I work a lot. I love the gym.
Yeah.
Like you, so I got to balance that. So I started working on balancing that. Not always perfect, but I definitely make the effort.
Right.
Kicking it with my homies. You know what I mean? We get the boat. We always on a boat in the summer, smoking our cigars and really relaxing. I wanted to purchase my mom's home just to really give her that freedom. I mean, if she wants to work, she could work. But you know.
Plus, she was a key player in your.
Yeah,
in your
no doubt. And then, last but not least was just like my health as an individual. I've never been sick, so when I got sick, it was just like, oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
Long story short, my health, my mother, as that's my rock, my kids, my friends, and travel.
Yeah.
So that became my why.
Yeah.
And if I focus on great friendships like the ones that we're building today,
Yes, sir.
if I focus on my kids and making sure that they're straight,
Right.
I'm trying to get a second full scholarship, you know.
Right.
If I stay healthy, and if I, abide by the rest, I purchased my mom's home 2 Christmases ago. I bought it for Christmas.
Wow.
So I'm fulfilled. I don't have any debt other
Right.
than business debt,
Right.
but it's working for me. I say that to say that kind of like has relief a lot of stress. Not to say that I am where I want to be,
Right.
Right.
but to let you know that I'm currently living in my why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes like we can't, like she said, make $1 million, you want to make 2. You make 2, you want to make 10. You make 10, you want to make 20.
Yeah.
But the truth is, that's where I found my equation to understanding that I just wanted rentals.
Yeah.
Because I can make 50 a flip, 30 a flip, whatever. But the truth is, if I'm continuously making cash flow for a lifetime, like, I'm good for a lifetime.
For a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when the rental equation came in. So it's anywhere between 50 to 100 by age 45. COVID kind of like, it was 100, but COVID kind of like rejected that path a little
Yeah.
bit, slowed it down. So that's kind of how I came up with mine. I want to share that with you guys.
Yes, sir.
Just because like finding that why is different.
Did COVID change your perspective on rentals?
No.
Just with the CDC and all the memorandums? No.
I've had 100% payment.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
like,
have too, but there's been people that are just like that have been burnt and they've been totally scarred by it. So I was just curious if it changed.
So this is why they've been burnt, because they didn't buy right.
Yeah.
Just to be honest with you, if you have 20 to 25% equity in your rental, you are set for life. And I'm gonna just be honest with you. A couple of days ago, I forget the account that stated this, but Indianapolis was the most prospering real estate market in the country.
I can believe it.
I can believe that. I get calls every day.
And so, if you think about it, I was telling Ziggy, everybody on the borders are buying in the Midwest
Oh yeah.
because it's affordable.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so, if you had a rental, I've had situations where, let's say 9 of my rentals, I bought them in 2017 and 18. I refinanced them in 19 and pulled out $250,000.
Yeah.
That's equivalent to 5 flips,
Yeah.
tax free though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think of all these hedge funds that went in 15, 16, 17 and bought all these houses when you're like, what in the hell are they doing buying this for full market value?
Exactly.
And now those same $130,000 houses are selling for 180.
No, so I bought houses in Westfield for 130 that today are 230.
I
Yeah.
seen that. That was big.
And so like,
Yeah.
it's a fleet of them.
Yeah.
And So like that bus is gone now.
Yeah.
And so like it's gonna continue to happen because if you could visualize it, imagine the border being red, right? And that's where all the high prices are.
Yeah.
Most desirable places to live.
Yeah.
Cali, Florida, Texas, New York, the borders.
Right.
All right. Imagine the Midwest being green though, like just kind of like ripe.
Right.
But everybody's investing here now because real estate's the thing to do, and they're investing in the middle.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, we're gonna start turning yellow. That means appreciation is gonna happen because the value of homes. We have a shortage in real estate.
Yeah.
And overage in buyers, and we know that cash buyers are winning. The people on the borders have the cash, the big boy cash, and they're investing in the middle. So we're gonna start turning yellow. So if you have a rental property, you're not just getting cash from the cash flow, you're getting cash from the appreciation, the tax deductions and everything. And if you refi every 5 years, as you got 5 to 6, 7, 8 rentals, you could really, really, really like profit. And so I'm gonna refinance again, and I did it just in 19.
Yeah.
And you know, I should be able to pull like $200,000 based on all the prices.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm achieving things a different way. There's nothing wrong with your way. It's just to enlighten you a little bit on my style versus yours. And then obviously the why. You know, like we hustlers, bro, at the end of the day. That's what it is.
Yes, sir.
That's what it is. But at the end of the day, we aspire to become businessmen. Therefore, for me to become a businessman, you know, like I tell Ziggy, you want to know your progression in the company, you can teach shit.
Yeah.
So yesterday I approached Ziggy with his notes for his first class he took in here. He had 4 pages for a 3-day class. I literally told him, you can't teach this shit. You couldn't teach me nothing out there. You're the only beneficiary if you have 4, because you got the information, but you can't give it up to the next person that's coming to work. So Ziggy took the book home yesterday on a different class. It was a wholesale lease option class.
Yeah.
He took the book home, he took the computer home, and he came in with 10 pages. And so like that's what is necessary for his next comrade or teammate to grow, and or for him to grow.
Yeah.
Because he took the notes on his computer, they're his, and now he can empower himself and somebody else.
Well, and real estate is not get rich quick. People think this is just so easy, and it's not. If you're not self-motivated, honestly, I wasn't necessarily a self-motivated driven person, but he is so overly self-motivated and so driven, it just kind of pushed me. I mean, it wasn't even contagious, but he just kind of kicked me in the butt, like, hey,
that's what I'm talking about, bro.
He's like, if you want to live like this, then you have to work like this.
I love it.
So
I love it.
When people think they can just come in and, you know, send a few mailers and get some deals, you might get a couple lucky ones, but it's not sustainable.
It's work.
So it's work. And
what I took away from what you said in the beginning too, like you gave big props to Syria, you know what I mean? You spelled that out and everything, gave him the fucking acronym. Give him the acronym one more time.
I didn't even know we could do
Central
that.
Indiana Real Estate Investing Association.
Yeah.
Hey, and then you said, shit, we are on our lives. And you know, that means that you have a great appreciation for the network that you built, which I equivalent to social wealth.
Yeah.
So people think that my network is my net worth. Negative. The social wealth is built by the leverage of relationships. It's not about what you can do for me, but it's just how you gave me Mr. Harry. Now he OG Harry, and he's holding us down. And I literally have saved on 2 projects $40,000 based on the relationship. For me inviting you, me having a necessity, and you being able to fill that necessity with the contact, and you've been able to do that tenfold somewhere else. And so like social wealth is key, man. People need to respect that and really like value it. And it's not your network equals your net worth.
No, and it's staying relevant. I mean, there are a lot of people in this game who, you have a lot of people who say they're doing real estate, but they're not necessarily doing real estate. Then you have some that are doing a lot of real estate and they're not in the front lines. But if you're doing real estate and you're doing it successfully and you still network and you meet people and you make conversations like this is only going to help you get to that next step faster.
100%.
So, I mean, the next step is always there. It's just how big is that next step?
And we're gonna start calling the E2E podcast, bro, the Yacht Club. So we're building great relationships, you know what I mean?
Sure,
With wealthy people.
And we'll do
you
the
know,
next one on a yacht.
future millionaires, you know what I mean? I love it, man. Hey, we out, man. I appreciate you guys for staying tuned, man. Stay locked in next week, the next podcast. Don't forget to visit entrepreneur.com, man, and sign up for the acquisition and wholesale class. There I give you my step-by-step process on how to acquire. You don't have to wholesale, but you can get great deals for yourself and or flip contracts, flip houses, or hold rental properties. Till next time.